The Obama administration ready to announce new emissions standards for the auto industry. Details coming out tomorrow, just as Washington focuses on cap and trade this week.
Now, Democrats are pushing for a bill as early as this Friday, but Republican Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee sits on the Energy and Commerce Committee, and she might have some other ideas about all this. Congresswoman, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you. Thanks.
Now, we have a little bit of, the world, that is, has a little bit of experience with cap and trade because the Europeans have been trying a variation of it. First of all, how has their experiment gone, and are we trying to duplicate what they have?
What we are seeing in this 932-page bill that was filed at 11 o'clock today is that much of what they would like to do would duplicate the European trading scheme, the carbon trading scheme. We know that this is jobs. We know that they have lost manufacturing. We know that it's been very expensive for them, and their economy is suffering because of it. And what we're going to do is try to keep it from happening here.
Representative, we know that Republicans really hate this, and we know that there are some Democrats who don't think it's the greatest idea. But what is the solution? What is a better answer to this? I mean, let's try and push this conversation forward versus just, hitting heads together.
Yeah, Liz, and the thing is, we're all for clean water, clean air, and clean energy, but we're not for taxing people out of their house and home to pay for it. And you're going to have some Democrats that join us on that. The better alternative is this. What we need to do is be focusing on how we deal with the environment and how we deal with energy independence, rather than doing a wealth transfer, because the bill that is before us does not make energy more abundant. It does not address what we need to do with getting the cost of energy down, and it doesn't address next generation technologies. It doesn't spur innovation. It does pick winners and losers, and that isn't a route we want to go. This bill uses the word standards 309 times, setting this big standard. It only uses incentive 29 times, and we need to flip this around. We know that there have been great innovations in clean coal technologies, in hydroelectric power, in nuclear power, the new nuclear that is there. We know that natural gas is very plentiful, not only for electric power generation, but for transportation fuels. There are many ways that we can go, rather than just saying, oh, it has to be wind, oh, it has to be solar. And by the way, let's set these standards for auto emissions for our states to meet with all of their. It's going to be very expensive, not only per household, but to our manufacturing sector and our business
I'm not sure
community.
everybody out there understands exactly how this works. If you're a business, you've presumably gone through this 900-page law. If you're a business, do you start out with a certain credit, and if you use that up in terms of how much carbon you burn off, you have to buy more credits? Is that how it works?
Well, and we're going to be working through this bill. We've started at 11 o'clock today, and as I said, they brought the second version out at noon, and the committee started at 1. What will take place is you as a business will have to buy carbon credits, and then after you use up those credits that you have purchased, if you still have time left within the year or within the frame of time that those credits cover, then you go back to the auction and you buy more credits to cover your output. Now, David, what this would do, this bill would put our individual output, our individual carbon footprint, back to where it was in 1875. And we are concerned that it may move our economy back decades and decades.
Okay.
There is a better way to go, and we do have an amendment that we will file that will address this, and also an amendment that we will file to keep them from regulating CO2 under the Clean Air Act.
Well, let's quickly get a comment from you about President Obama's plan that will be announced tomorrow, pushing fuel emission standards up for cars and trucks. We're talking to car company owners. I mean, Alan Mullally thinks this is a great idea. He's over at Ford. We also heard from several people today who really like this idea because it's just got to get done. Where do you stand on it?
I think we have to tread very, very carefully on this when we look at emission standards and we look at new cars being out there. I hear from so many people who say, look, right now, with the economy where it is, I can't afford to go in and be forced to deal with these standards or to buy carbon
But sooner
credits
rather
to
than later,
offset
though,
that.
Representative. I mean, it's got to get
I would
done.
love to see the innovation. Let's see the innovation. Let's get it, but let's not pick winners and losers. Let's get everybody in there working. It may be a hydrogen fuel cell. It may be a natural gas. It may be a lithium-ion battery. But what we do not need to do is be prescriptive and choose these winners and losers. And we need to realize it's going to take all of the above in order to get this done. We have to deal with a short-term, a mid-range, and a long-term strategy in order to address this in an orderly way and make certain, absolutely make certain, that we do not damage our economy.
Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn, Republican from Tennessee. Great to see you again. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.